the pages of the World Wrestling Federation magazine, here's updates.
Party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. I am recording this the day after WrestleMania 36 because it's taken me just that long to come back towards a salient reality that we live in after seeing what we've seen at WrestleMania 36. There are a lot of big stories that happened there between Drew McIntyre dreaming his broken dream and making his dream come true, and Braun Strowman actually winning the big one, for fuck's sake. But the biggest takeaways from WrestleMania 36 has to do with cinematic matches and what they mean to wrestling. Obviously, there was a huge Twitter and some online, in terms of online commentators talking about how much they love the Boneyard match. The Boneyard match was the greatest thing they've ever seen in their lives. Boneyard match was the mother of their children. They love the Boneyard match to death. They are putting the Boneyard match in their will because when they die, they want everything that they've ever had on this earth, all their t-shirt collections and wrestling figures, to go to the Boneyard match because the Boneyard match is their new wife. And on top of that, then the fun hard has flyer flick fly flicker flick flyer fly match is, I guess, their other in that polyamorous situation. They've all joined triads with the Boneyard match as their main companion, and the fire flickety flick match as their other girlfriend in this sort of weird triangle of psychedelic cinematic matches. As is my way, don't quite go with the rest of the crowd. I mean, I like movies, I like TV shows, I like Netflix, so I like great cinematic scenes of struggle and stuff like that. It just depends on where it comes from. Those kinds of scenes coming from WWE is different than those kinds of scenes coming from a big budget Hollywood movie or Netflix or television. It's okay. So when you go to the store, right, and you want a big bottle of Sprite, right? If they have Sprite on sale, the 2-liter bottle, if they have Sprite on sale for $1, and then right next to it, they have the store brand Sprite, which isn't even called Sprite. It's called Lemon Lime Soda Pop. It's also in a green container. It's right next to it, and it's also for $1. Most people are going to buy the Sprite for the $1. You know why? Because when faced with the option of buying name brand something and store brand something, and all things are equal, price is equal, size is equal, everything is equal, in terms of before you take that purchase home, they're going to go with the name brand. You know why? Because with the name brand, the Sprite has a bit more of a bite than the store select soda pop does. The Sprite keeps its fizz longer than the store select lemon lime soda pop does. Do you get it? The Sprite tastes better. You can taste more flavors in the Sprite than you can the store select lemon lime store soda pop brand. When faced with the alternative of having one of these big scenes in either, for the Boneyard match, a Sons of Anarchy episode, or the Boneyard match, I'm gonna take the Sons of Anarchy episode every time, because it's easier for me to immerse myself in that world of the Sons of Anarchy big fight scene in a barnyard somewhere than it is with what's supposed to be a professional wrestling show with the fight in a barnyard somewhere with explosions and holographic Undertaker symbols and all the fast cuts and shit, because my brain isn't fit to watch that in that environment. My brain is fit to have that suspense of disbelief while watching the Sons of Anarchy episode, because that's what it's designed for. That's what it's always been designed to be. Professional wrestling, not so much. So when you try to bring that extra cinematic flair to the professional wrestling world, it doesn't fit. No matter how many Jay Brones on the internet say it does, and I love it so much. Give me some more. Right in the face, daddy. It's just not. It's not what I tuned into WWE for. And the answer to that is an emphatic 100% down your throat. I don't know. I really don't know. It depends on what happens with the Row. We're in an environment now where the WWE had to improvise. They had to improvise quickly. They had to improvise at least up to the show after the biggest show of the year. And they did, for the circumstances, really a yeoman's job in trying to bring forth a show on at least on a regular basis, even, with a whole bunch of highlight clips in there, at least leading up to WrestleMania, and then the day after to kind of follow up and wrap up what all is happening. It's hard to knock them for trying to do that, and AEW did the same thing, and a lot of different people are doing that. You see that all over entertainment and television. You see that all over the place, right? So good on WWE for sticking with that flow and at least trying, but how long can they continue that? How long can they keep doing that? They promoted Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, but are we really going to do this same thing over and over again through at least May 10th? How long can this go on? And if it goes on for much longer, if it drags on through months and months, as some people are projecting, or weeks and weeks, as some people are projecting, are we going to see more of these? Like will these all lead up to another one of these at Money in the Bank? It would make sense for them to want to do that, because it kind of forces WWE's idea of themselves, which they've always had this idea that they're entertainment, pal, and they're in the sports entertainment business, and Vince always wanted to be in movies. That's where WWE films came from. So it kind of forces this idea of them as a legit movie house almost onto the general public. But the big question, in all of this, is, if you really look at Raws and SmackDowns, they've already kind of sold the public on the idea that you're going to go to an arena at least twice a week, or the general public is going to go to an arena twice a week and watch most of the show on a giant screen. Some of the show in real life in front of you, most of it on a giant screen. And most of it is going to be these pasted together backstage skits where we're dealing with the secret plan, but the camera's right there. Don't let anybody know about our secret plan, okay? Here, let me tell you what our secret plan is. They've kind of already put that in the wrestling zeitgeist, as that's how their show is. So then when it comes to these weird, trippy scenes that we see, are these going to be the climaxes that we see of these pay-per-views? Are they going to churn out at least one of these every month or so, or every 6 weeks, or not 6 weeks, not even 6 weeks, for fucking 19 of these big show pay-per-view things a year? Is that what they're going to do? Is WWE going to turn into a film company, essentially? Like, is WWE going to turn into Lucha Underground? And if so, what does that translate to in terms of the live audience? Does that translate into fewer sales then? Because, yeah, there are still people that go to arenas to watch most of the show on the screen, but that number is dwindling. And if their show turns into, this just essentially just a movie, right? Just short films. If it turns into Lucha Underground, then what does that mean for their ticket sales? What does that mean for their live attendance rates? What does that mean for their live shows? Particularly the bigger shows of the year, the SummerSlams, the WrestleManias. Like, what does that mean for their ticket sales? And the only true test of that really has been Impact. And For Impact, the numbers have not ticked up for them. Like, the only person that really has benefited from cinematic matches really has been Matt Hardy, because he was able to take whatever buzz he did generate at Impact, which, again, really, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't a whole lot, at least for the company, but it helped himself. He was able to boost his name and his name recognition for when he came back into WWE. Not only that, he actually won thousands of votes in the 2016 presidential election. People wrote in broken Matt Hardy. So that did generate some buzz for him, but it didn't necessarily translate to buzz or viewership or ratings or sales or anything for really anyone else. And even the attention that it brought on him still isn't as much as somebody like a Brock Lesnar gets. What does that translate to for wrestling fans? What does that translate to when you're trying to attract more fans to professional wrestling? Because in the grand scheme of things, you have the general public, you have wrestling fans, and then really you have the people that like those kinds of cinematic matches. Now we've got the cinematic match on a grander scale than a lot of the Hardy stuff, but this is not the first time this happened. We had the Sister Abigail House of Horrors bullshit match with Randy Orton, and that went over like a lead balloon. But now you had two of these 2 nights in a row on the biggest show of WWE's year, with probably, all numbers considered, what's probably going to be a pretty big audience for them, because you got all the people that couldn't go to WrestleMania 36. You got them opening up to Fight Network, or to Fight. You got them opening up the WWE Network. I think they posted the Boneyard match on Facebook in its entirety, or YouTube in its entirety. You got all these eyeballs that WWE wanted to put on this creation and these cinematic matches. The answer is, I don't know. I'm not optimistic. Oh, you're just an old fuddy-duddy. You just hate anything new. You just hate anything fun. Wrestling's supposed to be fun and silly and not make sense and blah, 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 blah. And Undertaker shot fire out of his hands and shit and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Is everybody in the general populace that doesn't buy a WWE ticket then the exact same? Especially when they can stay at home with their name brand Sprite and binge watch hours upon hours of it, rather than going out and going to an arena with thousands upon thousands of other people to look at the same thing on a screen. Professional wrestling has been around for, centuries? In part because of the live aspect of it. In part because of the semi-sports presentation of it. You can't have that same thing with a short film. No matter how good you think the special effects were, that's not going to make me buy a ticket. That's not going to make most people buy a ticket, especially when they can just watch it on Netflix and millions of other titles like it that have more money put into it, that sometimes are going to have better dialogue and better scenes and better special effects and all other stuff. We're now in this world where everything's changed, and does that mean WWE has changed from this thing that was supposed to try to bring in a broad audience to now this thing that honestly is going to alienate a lot of the audience and narrow its focus to fewer and fewer people? I think it's going to be closer to that. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, type that down there. Tell me why. Oh, you're just a hater. Okay, type that down there. Tell me why. Oh, I saw you hating on you just hate. Okay, type that down there in the comment section. Let me know whether or not you think I'm right or you think I'm wrong. Let me know your answers to some of these questions that I don't have the answer to. Like, is this now the new normal? How often are we going to see these things? Who would be in them on a regular basis. What does that do to professional wrestling as a whole? Because everybody knows that where WWE goes, so goes the rest of professional wrestling. So now WWE just gave a huge Pasadena to AEW to do nothing but 2 hours of that every week if they want to. And they are probably going to want to. And maybe even have to with the shutdowns and lockdowns and everything. At least for a time being, or at least they think they're going to have to. What does that do to independent shows? How do you explain this to somebody who's never seen professional wrestling before? How do you explain this to somebody who used to watch professional wrestling and is thinking about coming back to watch it because they stopped watching it because something turned them off? These are all questions that I need answers to, and you can give them to me down there in the comment section. You can also like, share, subscribe. We got a Patreon going on. Patreon.com/surreal469. Patreon.com/SURREAL, the numbers 469. Go there, contribute to the channel, help keep the lights on at the party, and party people, that ain't bad. I don't know where we're going to be in the future, professional wrestling, but whatever it is, it's probably going to be something to drink to. One way or the other. Cheers.
I'm a nice guy, I'm a nice place, with a nice smile on my nice face. Turn your back and I'm making sure my night's straight. And when you're out of town, I'll be making sure your wife's straight.